Good evening to you and thank you for joining us on News 360 live from Adesawe Kanda in Accra. My name is Aisha Yakubuhale.
And I am Martin Asiedu Date. Here are the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Public Utilities Regulatory Commission PURC announces 3.02% increase in electricity tariffs and 1.06% increase in water tariffs.
Police service continues to receive criticism over treatment of Democracy Hub protesters, with private legal practitioner Martin Pebu describing the police action as a violation of the Constitution.
Also tonight, as Ghana gears up for the highly anticipated December 7 elections, we'll explore the role of social media influencers to the December 7 polls.
On the international front, Hezbollah confirms the death of its leader Hassan Nasrallah after Israeli strike in Beirut after an Israel airstrike on his hideout. We have details of all these stories and more. Be part of the show. Let's hear what you make of the stories we have for you tonight.
In the details tonight, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission PURC has announced a 3.02% increase in electricity tariffs. The Commission also announced a 1.06% increase in water tariffs for the third quarter of 2024, effective October 1. In a statement released on Saturday, September 28, the PURC explained that the adjustment was necessary due to factors such as inflation, exchange rates, fluctuations, and gas prices. The increase is part of the PURC's routine quarterly. According to the Commission, the increments are necessary to ensure the financial stability of utility providers.
Let's go on to some other stories. Now, the Senior Staff Association of Ghana and the Unionized Staff Group of the Volta River Authority, the VRA, in Akosombo, have staged another protest against the proposed merger of the Bui Power Authority with the VRA. Our reporter Faisal Abdul Idrisu monitored the protest and has filed this report.
The aggrieved staff groups made up of the Senior Staff Association and the unionized staff of the Volta River Authority took to the streets of Akosombo and Atimpoku to intensify agitations against the government's intention to merge the VRA with the Bui Power Authority. According to the aggrieved workers, the move is ill-intended and must be halted.
Our fear is the ordinary Ghanaian cannot even afford to pay the domestic usage of the electricity. We are not going to let it go. The politicians are making every effort to take everything from the ordinary Ghanaians, and that is what we don't want it to happen.
That's all. When it comes to running hydro plants, we are actually the best if you check what we have in Africa, and we are the fourth in the world when you check the EUCG utility cost group matrices. Frank, we are the best when it comes to unit availability and reliability. So we are saying that we are quite taken aback by, the decisions to pass these bills, because we are actually the best in what we do.
The Akosombo branch chairman of the Public Sector Workers Union, Asari Keteku, who spoke on behalf of the various staff groups, called for stakeholder engagement.
We are saying that that bill should not be passed because staff group leaders have not been engaged. We are major stakeholders and we have to be engaged. There is a provision in the bill, Section 39, transitional provision. We don't know the fate of the staff. They are saying that VRA has to operate with cost effectiveness. We are effective, we are efficient. So there is no need for this merger.
He spoke about the expertise of VRA engineers across various generating units.
Thermal, they are saying that they are going to separate Thermal from Volta River Authority. We are saying no. Why? Because this is a mixed energy production. when there is any challenge with thermal, there's going to be hydro going to support it. We are also having a solar energy also coming to play. So we are doing a strategic business with Volta River Authority.
A proposed bill currently before Parliament also proposes combining the Electricity Company of Ghana (ECG) with the Northern Electricity Distribution Company (NEDCO) and the establishment of a new independent thermal power authority using VRA's thermal plants. The workers claim that the move will ultimately make hydropower production viable and drive up consumer electricity costs. Staff of the Volta River Authority have petitioned the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, over the proposed measure.
Some 70 days to the December 7 polls. Welcome to your Election Command Center. Hundreds of supporters of the New Patriotic Party (NPP) Saturday morning joined the party's work for bold solutions as part of its campaign strategies. National executives of the party insist the NPP has served well and deserves to retain power. Joseph Armstrong and Joyce Leninum followed the work and reports.
The walk saw hundreds of NPP supporters converge on the Obras Port in Accra. They walked through some principal streets of Accra amid singing and dancing. The national organizer of the party, Henry Boache, was pleased with the numbers.
What are some of the achievements the MPP can boast of within these two constituencies?
As we move along, you could hear the ladies chanting free SHS, free SHS. Look, it's been amazing. I keep saying, from 2016, yes, we promised free SHS. We implemented it. We were rewarded in 2020. Some people would have, put up the narrative that the free SHS has outlived its youthfulness. But everywhere we go now, we are talking about some 5.7 million young people who have benefited from this initiative. And that is what people are talking about. People are talking about the fact that we are putting up district hospitals. It's unprecedented.
So we are looking at the Clotte Cole and then also that of the Dodo, and also part of Ablekma Central is within where you've had this work. What are some of the main achievements within these constituencies?
What they are talking about is free SHS. It's been amazing. What they are saying is free SHS all over.
At their final destination, party executives addressed the crowd.
I command numbers, and today this is just a tip of the iceberg. Next time, I'll put 100,000 people on the streets. Egyptians that we saw, we will not see them again. The Egyptians will disappear, and that is what is going to happen to the NDC. By the time we finish these elections, they will remember my name.
The Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the party, Divine Agohum, announced the party in October will organize a nationwide walk.
The national executives of the New Patriotic Party believes this crowd is the biggest ever crowd that any political party has ever organized. For them, this gives them the greatest assurance that come December 7th, they will win the general election. Well, December 7th will tell. Joseph Armstrong, Go TV3, Accra.
Still within the camp of the New Patriotic Party, its vice president and the flag bearer, that is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, says that the Akufo-Addo-led government since 2017 has employed over 200,000 health professionals. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was speaking at the commissioning of the newly constructed Nsuayem Government Hospital in the Takwa Nsuayem municipality as part of his 4-day tour of the Western region.
At the commissioning of the facility, Dr. Bawumia highlighted the NPP government's commitment to social development, citing the National Health Insurance Scheme NHIS as a testament to this goal. He spoke about the investments made by the NPP and the health sector.
The one constituency, one ambulance, Abagana, National Health Insurance, no so, Yapijano, and then childhood cancer is covered under National Health Insurance. Sickle cell disease, the drug hydroxyurea, and also is under National Health Insurance. And a dialysis for kidney patients for over 60 and under 80 is free under National Health Insurance.
Medical Superintendent of the NCIM Government Hospital, Dr. Beatrice Sam Omidiji, appealed for the construction of a trauma center and staff accommodation.
As you can see, we are in a mining environment and we see a lot of trauma cases, accidents on the road and all that. We need an emergency structure, a well-equipped emergency structure, so we can do more for the people of NCIM. Okay, we see more people than the number of staff should see. And so we want to engage more nurses and more doctors on board. However, we don't have that space. Getting accommodation in NCIM is really difficult.
Member of Parliament for Takwan NCIM, George Mekuduka, lauded the instrumental role of the Vice President in seeing to the completion of the facility and urged the people to vote for him come December 7.
On the 7th of January.
Presidential candidates of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, is alleging that key appointees of the ruling New Patriotic Party have begun seeking visas to travel out of the country to escape accountability from the NDC. Now, speaking to supporters of the party in Shukura of the Ablekumo Central constituency, John Dramani Mahama gave the firm assurance that he will serve the country in all honesty and sincerity.
7 January, Omo hadi over here. Obian Tanaha, Mobian Kobibia. Obian Tanaha, Mobian Kobibia. As you him say, Ebia started at the Omo passport, air call, Ako renew Omo visa. If you say, Omo him say, NDC Abamba. Na yakasi ya shushe ni umemua. Ebi omumubi intimate Tanaha, Ombe Janiako. Ezu. And so, baby, on the Kobia, your best and the Omaba. Now, Omabe answer your questions. Nyoma Minu, and I'm the best Shamobo. Nyoma Minu, Bakone said, Maye Juma Day, 24 hours a day, Maye Juma Amamu. Near Toso, and they say, Emrebia Meka Tremonocre, Main Chantro and Tremo. And Nyoma Ya Meka Tremo said, Nyoma Ye. And your man Koya, Mekacham said, your man Koye. Ezu Enti Sa Boshe Minu and a mamu. Meaning, say, your baba moi, and your ma bedding. If you say, baby, almost say, or mine could druno. Say, your best peja or mine legina and so. Now I was saying, na yesum, na yetimi peja. And so me what GDA say NDC or man, memma, you bet me a ye Jumano. Na yetimi asiesie sikasem na yetimi asiesie nyoma MPP abese no na esa peja your mind no Ghana asasi na nanso na mfa na tumba point fra ya bata ko midukamu lokacin yake mu korejiwa ya koma cikin daji inda ya fito baby omo say enyoma eduro no Ghana for say eye omo ko opposition na omo ko dwen omo ho. Now, meaning say MPP for be brave or what? Almost percent omo party do lose our election.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Let's stay on politics this time around, not the necessarily political parties, but something that bothers both of them. Social media isn't just about selfies and dance challenges anymore. From Instagram to TikTok, a new generation of content creators are turning their online fame into real-world influence and even shaping political discussions. As Ghana gears up for the highly anticipated December elections, Aisha Yakubu Khalid and Deborah Mensah explore the role of social media influencers on the December 7 elections.
As Ghana prepares for its upcoming elections, the battle for hearts and minds is no longer confined to political rallies or televised debates. It has moved online, where social media influencers known for promoting fashion, entertainment and lifestyle are now playing a key role in political discourse. Platforms like Facebook, Twitter, now known as X, and Instagram have become battlegrounds for political conversations, with influencers using their massive followings to shape these conversations and decisions.
What is the assurance that if you are elected into office again, politicians and people that have been heavily involved in state capture will be prosecuted and put behind bars?
I mean, when it started, a lot of the parties only used social media to push out their messages. So they'll be bombarding people with their messages, then pictures of, sometimes you go onto their platform, like, let's say 100 pictures from a rally or whatever. I mean, that's what they were pushing. Now we're seeing them embracing even tools like even Twitter Spaces to have conversations. They're using these influencers as like big billboards or radio stations where they have mass numbers.
Political parties in Ghana have taken notice. With the December elections around the corner, they are scrambling to align with these new digital powerhouses, hoping to ride on their influence to sway the youth vote. For some political parties, this is more than just a numbers game. It's reaching the hearts and minds of young, undecided voters.
When we talk about influencers, young people follow their channels. And they have audience out there, so we must make our message get through them. It's also very important. So we did our own internal research as a party. We realized that 53% of young voters who are voting for the first time are saying that they're going to make their decision based on information they get from digital media. So it means that as a matter of practical reason, the NDC must make sure that its message is carried out through this medium to reach out to them.
Social media has played quite a significant role from the 2008 election, little by little. Today, it is a dominant feature in every single election across the globe. You neglect it at your own peril. And in this election, we have a team child of social media, because we understand that some segment of the youth are on social media, and you have to route your message, through it to get to them.
But the influencer strategy isn't without controversy. Not all followers are impressed by these new political endorsements. Some see it as a sellout move, with influencers accused of jumping on the political bandwagon for cash rather than conviction.
Sometimes I can do a video around one political party, let's say political party A, which B will find it funny. But when I switch to B, they are pissed. So sometimes it's that I get it hot, some will come into your DM and insult you.
Generation we are in, majority of things happen on social media. But if you want to appeal to the youth more, I think social media is going to play a major role.
Then some join in to create content off the back of interest and seizing to build up followers with people who might love these contents and eventually cash out.
Okay, when I come into office, for the health sector, I promise to cure cancer. Hey, saying, me am crashing me. Around, political time like this, what people like is, the sarcasm. Making fun of politicians, how they talk, their promises and other stuff. Yeah, so around that, I do that. Although it's comedy, but I put some truth in it. Yeah, some people find it humorous, but they know that, okay, this guy is joking, but there's some truth in what he's saying.
As we inch closer to election day, one thing is clear. The political game is changing and is going digital. While it remains to be seen whether these influencers will have a significant impact on the election's outcome, there's no denying that they have brought a fresh, bold, and somewhat controversial voice to Ghana's political conversation. Aisha Yakubu Khalid, TV3 News, Accra. Let's now turn our attention to health. Ghana's progress in the fight to eradicate rabies risks being eroded if the country does not improve its level of commitment to these efforts. The Veterinary Council attributes the slow improvement in the country's initiatives to a lack of political will from the government to address the issue.
Globally, the World Health Organization estimates that 70,000 lives are lost to rabies annually. In Ghana, poor knowledge about the disease and negligence by some pet owners in vaccinating and restraining their pets is driving the rise in cases, particularly from stray and unvaccinated dogs within the communities. A pet, especially a dog, is required to receive its first rabies vaccine shot within the first 3 months of its life and then annually. However, this has not been the case for many dogs, especially stray ones in the country. A visit to the Veterinary Hospital revealed that the hospital had already recorded 19 cases of dog bites this year. Here at the facility, we witnessed a number of pets brought in for medical attention. 3-year-old Didi is anemic and receiving the care it needs.
Most of them come around, oh, I want to vaccinate my dog against rabies. Like they know what they are supposed to do, but sometimes because of financial constraints, some of them are unable to.
Didi is not the only pet that has a responsible owner.
I keep my dog in an enclosed environment, sometimes in my room and then compound. It's a gated house, so I don't give it a chance to go outside. That it might go and get bitten by a stray dog, or also go and bite anyone outside.
The veterinary service is worried about the increasing number of rabies cases caused by stray dogs, particularly in urban communities.
We had 31 cases just in animal, and we also said that in September, that is the Rabies Awareness Month, we had 4 cases, and we showed that Ghana is still having rabies in the country. And out of this 31, 26 has been confirmed as humans were involved and some lost their lives. Rabies is by science and by practice 100% vaccine preventable, which means we need to vaccinate all our pets against rabies, not just once in a year.
Though the global target for rabies eradication is 2030, Europe has already succeeded in eradicating the disease through vaccination campaigns. However, Ghana's efforts to achieve the target appear unrealistic. The Registrar of the Veterinary Council of Ghana, Dr. Kingsley Mike Aye, blames the inability of leadership to tackle the issue head-on with proper financial commitment.
We are not seeing the political will to actually control rabies or eradicate it in 2030. That is the truth of the matter. I've been a vet for about 36 years, yes, and we have never seen the political will. But we think that with government commitment, employing more people, giving us the logistics, we are sure we can be able to eradicate the rabies thing by 2030. If we don't get everything right,
and we continue with the pace
with the pace we are having. And even if we are continuing with the pace, it might not be a problem for me, but the pace might worsen.
Despite years of advocacy against irresponsible pet ownership, health facilities continue to record cases of dog bites on a daily basis, which eventually leads to rabies infections. Perhaps there is time government takes a critical look at the veterinary industry in the country and invest more to avert all these issues. Sarah Apenko, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, Ghana is taking a significant step towards eliminating malaria by expanding its rollout of malaria vaccine to 43 more districts in 4 regions. About 200,000 children under 2 years are expected to be reached in the exercise, which starts today and will linger for the next few years.
Since its initial rollout in 2019, Ghana, Kenya and Malawi have routinized the RTS malaria vaccine in selected areas. Approximately 3.3 million doses of vaccines have been given to a cohort of about 400,000 children under 2 since the vaccine introduction in 93 districts, leading to a substantial reduction in severe malaria cases since the introduction of the vaccines in the country it's found to have significantly reduced severe malaria and malaria deaths in children under 5. The third phase of the rollout expansion is expected to reach some 200,000 cohorts of children under 2 in the northern, upper west, Savannah and Western North regions. Program Manager for the expanded program on immunization, Dr. Kwame Amponsa Achiano, reassured Ghanaians of the safety and benefits of the vaccine.
Any child who is between 6 and 11 is eligible to start, and then they will continue with the schedule. And it is not likely that every district, all the 43 districts, are even going to start today. Some are still doing their trainings, and so just as we did for the phase 2, some will start, others will come on board.
The service also expects acute defaulting of guardians, since that challenge has run throughout all the phases of the rollout exercise.
Essentially, what we do mostly is defaulter tracing, especially between the dose 3 and 4, which was previously very long. Now we've aligned the dose 4 with the second year of live vaccines, which we give at 18 months. So as I said, because of the experience from the pilot, we've now revised the schedule. And so these regions will not suffer what the other regions who piloted suffered.
The country is working towards achieving its malaria strategic plan 2021 to 2025, which seeks to reduce malaria case incidence by 50% and malaria mortality by 90%, while targeting an elimination plan by 2028.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. We have many more stories for you after the break.
You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Auntie, nothing I want what time over me one money my busa. Auntie Emma, the patch or me by a school mukwan, a university. Na scan year 2005. And yet they are many. To my even to my summit, they brought up paper kakra. No, the family. Yes, men's Fantomano Cotufi. It won't say John Dramani Mahama. Any NDC for say, Senyamia Dumna Gana for Tuabamana. Waba, Aba University via Technical University, College of Education, Nursing Training, woman academic fees for first year. And free, no yes. Adama, how did it? Another matter than the Auntie. Hey, share a BM was say, and can able Siana, no obo woma, or motua suku suono. Sano bonne bakwa, says was so best home. Ediama oma, or motua suono. Anne and your Mr. John Mahama, yet shamming soon cran say, Yen no Omo did the master be sabi bread yasa. Omo ko suku pon no. Wase wo mu nyina wo ba. Eye free. Ane Siama. Yay. And come me ko nanka na ye 7 December. Nanka ya tu aba na my papa Mahama. Am na be ya president.
Hwe wasit na moto aba pa. E din sakra ya papa beba wa brabo mu. To aba mo John Mahama ni NDC.
Choose the perfect prize for you every week and stand to win your choice of exciting prizes, all to get more of what matters to you. Exclusive to Betway. Betway, get way more. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, SoftCare always stays with you.
New SoftCare Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
SoftCare. Protect your leap.
Welcome back to News 360. Let's turn our attention to some more stories tonight. The Ghana Police Service faces intense criticism over its handling of the recent Democracy Hub protest against illegal mining. Dozens of protesters were arrested, with lawyers and families reporting difficulties in assessing detainees. Civil society groups are accusing the police and judiciary of undermining democratic rights. My colleague Noble Crosby-Annan delves into the issues and concerns of some panelists from key points in this report.
Following what many describe as heavy-handed and controversial response to the recent Democracy Hub protest, the three-day peaceful demonstration aimed at demanding an end to illegal mining quickly turned into a flashpoint between law enforcement and protesters, with dozens of demonstrators arrested. This escalation has raised serious concerns about the police role in safeguarding democratic freedom. Lawyers representing the arrested protesters have since voiced their frustration, citing difficulties in locating all the detainees. Families of the protesters have complained about being denied access to their relatives in police custody.
We scouted through the various police stations, and then at around 9 p.m. we found her at Kaneshi. I requested from the counter NCO to speak to my sister. What she could do best was to refer me to their station officer. And then the station officer said they were working under specific instructions from the regional command that those who were arrested in relation to the protest shouldn't be allowed any form of access by anybody, not a family member, not even a lawyer.
Private legal practitioner and political commentator Martin Pigbu condemned the actions of the police, calling them unconstitutional.
As those things happened, I mean, I felt like this wasn't Ghana. This wasn't Ghana. These things you've mentioned constitute a grave violation of our constitution. As the police arrested these persons and would not allow lawyers to have access to them, would not allow relations to have access to them, I was like, why is the crime? Why? For these small offenses.
Some civil society organizations accuse the judiciary of undermining democracy by remanding the protesters. Movement coordinator for Africans Rising, Hadi Yakubu, addressing the media on Friday, condemned the court's decision to remand several protesters for an additional 2 weeks.
The treatment by Ghana Police Service, and now in addition, the ongoing miscarriage of justice by the judiciary, conduct of the police and the judiciary by lending themselves to this unconstitutional, unfair and inhumane acts are contrary to the protection of their constitutional rights. This is not the first time the Ghana Police Service, in collaboration with the judiciary, has behaved like this towards protesters. Their actions highlight the erosion of the most basic freedoms we hold dear.
A former Deputy Attorney General and MP for Bolgatanga East, Dominic Kayini, echoed these sentiments, agreeing that the police and the judiciary are jointly undermining citizens' rights.
The police, in conjunction with the judiciary, is actually undermining the protection of the fundamental rights of the citizen. I do not think that in and of themselves, the activities that they engage in are sufficient basis for you to say that they should be detained, for 2 weeks, all right, without bail. I think that in itself is tantamount to judicial abuse of the rights, of the citizen.
However, security analyst Dr. Adam Bona observed significant improvements in how the police manage demonstrations.
I would say, without mincing words, that the police have improved when it comes to these things. Over the years, there's been significant improvements.
Dr. Bona also added that the conduct of some of the protesters left much to be desired.
The police had a duty. I would want us to separate the matters. If you are demonstrating, you don't take the laws into your own hands and do some of the things we have seen. There will be Kumipreku reloaded, and people will be too afraid to come because some hoodlums will come and start throwing stones.
On the issue of illegal mining, also known as galamsey, Dominic Kayini questioned the Attorney General's silence on actively addressing the menace as well as the police excessive force during the protests.
on this galamsey menace, why is the Attorney General silent about it? The Attorney General, you know, has a role to play, all right, not only in terms of reining in those who are engaged in the illegal mining, all right, but also in ensuring that the police excesses and the frivolous and trumped-up charges being brought by the police, all right, do not fly.
As calls for an end to illegal mining grow loud and concerns about the police handling of protesters soar, Ernesto Yeboah of the Economic Fighters League remains confident that continued protests led by groups such as Africans Rising and Democracy Hub hold more power in achieving justice than the court system.
We are convicted in our hearts and in our minds that the case will not be resolved in the courts. We will not find justice there. We are only going to find justice in the streets.
And talking about issues of galamsey and its attendant impact on our very lives, a lot of you are pretty angry at the Member of Parliament for Ifiduasia Sokore, and he also doubles as the Middle Belt Campaign Coordinator for Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Now, his name is Dr. Ayu Efriye, and he has said that the party, the NPP, are not going to stop illegal mining in Ghana. Ayu Efriye was addressing thousands of party supporters in Kumasi, the Ashanti regional capital.
Kabrani who said we are winning the seats in the mining areas. So they decided to go and import foreigners. No man can't say munko in renumu, na munko to go do, or say munko so no na munko to. Na mo refi mu hwana the whole year. In so I a problem da. Enya 1 month ya na started. Eye obi na opese anka omo ye na anka ye di speed. Nanka ya court, nanka ya stop galamsey for, nanka ya lose your seat. Ya stop you omo na, ya stop you omo china. Na oma konfa omo TV for na ko. Na omo crop for ka, ena galamsey. Na galamsey yetu no Accra. Inso no Accra. Omo mbra Kumasi me demonstration and come be steady.
In a nation grappling with the escalating crisis of illegal mining, one community in the Western North region, Jema, is defying the odds. Jema has emerged as a beacon of resilience, standing firm against the encroachment of galamsey operations, despite enticing offers from illegal miners. Here's a report by TV3 correspondent Stephen Kujo.
Proponent in the anti-galamsey campaign in Jema, Reverend Father Joseph Blay bemoaned the wanton destruction of arable land by galamsey operators.
And we could have taken the lesson earlier on because we saw the Wasa land devastated. We waited it to come. We have seen all the 15 towns along the 72 kilometers from Enchi to Elubo. They have all destroyed and they have gained nothing. So the man have seen that galamsey is a farce. Galamsey is a scam. Galamsey is a deceit. It doesn't give anything to the local people. So they are saying no galamsey.
The municipal chief executive of Awomen commended the people of Jema for their resolute stand against illegal mining. The youth in Jema, who are mostly involved in farming and operating Okada to make a living, have also accepted the call not to engage in galamsey. The youth have urged the government to provide them with more decent jobs to help sustain the fight against galamsey in Jema.
We as Jews were united. We are saying we are not going to support galamsey on the basis that it's a farming community. Farmers use the same water to feed their crops. We also use the same water to bath. As I'm standing here, I even went and fetched some of the river to bath before coming. So if there's an issue of galamsey, where will I get the water?
We always thank the Reverend Father from this community called Father Joseph Blay. The Reverend Father met the whole community. So we all sit down and decide that galamsey have a lot of effect. That when it comes into this community, it will affect production, farming activities.
Earlier this month, President Akufo-Addo established a 5-member ad hoc ministerial committee to engage stakeholders and assess the government efforts to tackle illegal mining activities, popularly known as galamsey. However, pressure is mounting on government to take decisive action against illegal mining, including declaring a state emergency and banning small-scale mining, while measures are taken to tackle the menace of illegal mining.
Let's go to the Volta region now. The 2024 Yam Festival celebration by the people of the Asogli state in the Volta region is already catching a buzz with hailing of the new yam, Tayuru. It's a rite which is performed in Ho. Volta regional correspondent Faisal Abdul Idrisu has filed this report. Unfortunately, we don't have that story, but we'll bring it to you in subsequent bulletins. Clearly, if you're there and you witnessed the celebration, do let us know on our various social media handles. And we would be glad to share your thoughts with the rest of the world who are also watching here on News 360 on TV3. We have many more stories for you after this. Do stay with us. Sports is right after the corner.
Ghana for baby I'm Governor Krum, still on the 276 tour, and we are determined to enter every corner in Ghana and expose the level of deprivation in this country. It's the 12th pillars, remember, the 12 ministries, number 12 on the ballot, the new force, and
Ghana, your friend is 27.
Every 12 months, yes, sir. One Kazan to age, as a son. Now, I say, at the country of Ghana, Abra Channel, Nina Free Kasa. That's why there's what? The new force with the 12 pillars, 12 ministries, 12 policies, and number 12 on the ballot. Is apostolic. This is divine. This is chosen. And remember, there was a time in Ghana that a young man called Nana Kwame woke up for you. It's the end. This is the beginning of a new revolution.
Choose the perfect prize every week and to win your choice of exciting prizes. All to get more of what matters to you. Exclusive to Betway. Betway, get way more. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18.
I see. Monsieur, let me the 200 Ghana Koja, so sister. Buy you in 5 cities. And then 40 Ghana. Hey, take one container your 40 to 50 pesos. And not 20 Ghana. And then a dancing. Olo ka do 30 Ghana. Adai, o my buy money away.
What was on Kasa? Me show din. Sha, dokura me di 20 Ghana o. Ah me pay kura me 15 Ghana cedi a day. O ma be na ewo mi. Ya koye anase ye san bai.
Sha, enye duane bo nko an ekosoro. John Dramani Mahama time. Smith 1 bag. Ne ye 24 Ghana cedis. Me nko to Smith 1 bag. Yes, a 108 CDs. I don't know say beton say. It is say who sit down here. Say and I will say. John Dramani Mahama ba me gie ya. Ye be wo. Ya nya bibia fa ho akom be kuyen yo.
Akom ne de enkuyen. Ye be fa ye ho adwen pa. Na MPP aban. Wa die hwammo ankasa.
Me de minim wo haw. Na me de Measure Massitum, Namatua.
And yes, I need dear. A year kufu de nini ba wo mia. Nyame ya dom ne se December 7. Trua. You be true master said you to ba. You be true ankasa.
She was sitting mo to abapa. E din sakra ya papa beba wa brabo mu. To abama John Mahama ne NDC.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Billy Shena. On to our first story. Accra Lions secured their first win of the season after beating Nswatreman FC 3-1 at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. First half goals from Seyman Faris Tahiru and Ezekiel Alado, as well as a strike from Blessing Isuman in the second half, ensured the hosts picked their first 3 points of the campaign. Abdul Rahman Mohammed netted the consolation for the visitors in the second half. The result moves the Accra Lions to 9th place, while Nswatreman dropped to 11th. Both teams are above Hartlefolk, who are 12 with just 3 points so far. Now, still on the Ghana Premier League, Asante Kotoko have a tough away fixture on their hands on Sunday with a travel to Brekum Chelsea lined up. The Porcupines have lost 2 consecutive league games in Brekum, and head coach of the side, Prosper Nate Ogum, has urged his men to keep their focus levels up ahead of this encounter.
I think we need to stay, psychologically, we need to stay very alert throughout the game. We have to be very focused. If we have the ball, we have to be very focused. If we don't have the ball, we have to be very focused. We need to ensure that we are very attentive throughout the game, because any lack of focus can lead to us being punished. We need to be very compact, and we need to be very athletic and very fast to the ball. I mean, if it's not possible, you play safe at the back. So tactically, I think that we need to stay in that shape in order to avoid. Attacking wise, I think we need to be confident on the ball, try to look at the spaces behind their defense and exploit those spaces.
Now to some other stories, the Division 1 League Ghana's second-tier competition in men's football officially kicked off today with 3 qualifying slots for the Ghana Premier League up for grabs. The top lineup for this weekend was between 2 traditional clubs, 11 Whites and Swedru All Blacks. In the end, the 2 teams had to share the spoils with 3-3. My colleague Francis Hima has the details.
Of the traditional teams in Zone 2, second 11 Whites and Swedru All Blacks had to share the spoils. It ended 3-all, and 11 Whites took the lead thanks to Ibrahim Mustafi Amadou's early strike that led 11 Whites into the game. And later on, Swedru All Blacks had to come back into the game, and they lead at halftime 2-1. At the end of 90 minutes, the game ended 3-3. And this is what the head coach of second 11 Whites, Coach Abdul Malik, had to say.
To me, I would say I'm okay, because I saw some positives more than the negatives. Though there were 1 or 2 negatives or so, of which normally it happens in a game.
On the other side, head coach for Swedru All Blacks, Felix Tamaklo, said this despite his side got a point from an away game. He was disappointed in the performance.
I don't know what happened. My boys went into sleep, and then they had the equalizer and then went up. We had to struggle and then equalize. Thank God I've come away and had 1 point. We'll go home, prepare, work well, and then what? See what will happen in the next match.
Some of their fans had to make that 2 hours 30-minute journey from Sekondi to Nzema to come and watch their team play against Swedru All Blacks, and they had this to say following their team's qualification to the Division 1 League after spending 7 years in the second division.
We are proud of our team. We are proud, and I know definitely there. Sekondi 11 Whites, we shall bounce back, inshallah.
11 Whites, I'm number 1 team, and some other team. So football, team, middle 11 Whites, I'm Whites or Susum, Whites or Busum. Assuming here, I'll be here, assuming yes, sir. So football, so far so good. Draw day.
Francis Sima from the AAK Sports Arena in Nzema for TV3 Sports.
Let's move on to European football. Manchester City started their period without drawing 1-1 against Newcastle at the St. James's Park. Arsenal lost a 2-0 lead but recovered to win 4-2 thanks to some heroics from Leandro Trossard against Leicester City. A red-hot day for Cole Palmer as he hit 4 goals in the first half to guide Chelsea to a 4-2 win over Brighton. And also Liverpool got a victory over Wolverhampton Wanderers to move top of the Premier League table.
Grealish, Kvadio, nice check, lovely finish. It's a long delay, and Gordon unerringly.
Timber, Arsenal in front. Martinelli. A rare opportunity for Leicester to put some pressure on the Arsenal back line. Buonanotte with a free kick, and Didi. Oh, it's beautifully done. Saliba almost on the toes of the goalkeeper this time. And it's gone in.
Danger of overplaying there, Chelsea. And Sanchez has come and it's gone in. Jackson's away for Chelsea. And Jackson squares it. And it is Palmer. Oh, wow! For Hinchwood. And an opportunity for Brighton. But Brooken. Sancho. It's Palmer again.
In from Jota Canate. 1-0. Keeps going. Pulls it back. Forbes couldn't adjust his feet. But it's warped into the net. It's Salah against Johnston. No problem here.
That's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Billy Shen, and the news bulletin continues.
Thank you, Bill, for bringing us the latest in the world of sports. And still watching News 360 on TV3. Let's go back to our earlier story having to do with the Yam Festival in the Volta region. And we know that the 2024 Yam Festival celebration by the people of Asogli State in the Volta region is already catching certain buzz. And many of you have already started talking about it. It happened in Ho on Friday. Volta regional correspondent has more in this report.
Hailing of the New Yam is the most patronized event that forms part of the annual Yam Festival celebration by the people of the Asogli State. And this year, it is living up to the billing, given the number of people who have turned up on the streets here to take part in the event. The event is usually characterized with tradition, rich culture, and very old rites that are performed by the traditional leaders. But we want to understand the significance of this very event. And we've been speaking to the leaders of the Asogli State here in Ho.
The Yam Festival started from our ancestral home in Moche, where a man went hunting one day and discovered the tuber and decided to hide it in the bush. So after some time, he went back for it, and to his surprise, it had multiplied. And so he harvested it, took it home. That's where the name Ete came from, in Ebe, meaning it had swollen, especially for chiefs. The first time that they are harvesting the new yam, it has to go through this process to announce to the whole world that the new yam is coming to town. And also, chiefs would have to be taken to a special rite before they can feast on it.
For over 9 months, all of us have been waiting for a time that we'll celebrate our farmers, especially our young farmers, who always give us a lot of food.
Patrons at the event have been sharing their experiences with TV3 News as we count down to the Grand Debate slated for Saturday, October 5.
I've been in Accra, but this year I decided to come in and have an experience of how the Yam Festival is going to here. And it's actually fun. As you can see, like, the movement is so smooth, and then I really, really love it. Seriously, being away for so many years and then coming back to experience this is just like awesome.
There is that cliche that he who knows not where he comes from is a shame. So knowing very well that I come from this land and culture is our heritage, that which has been handed over from generations to generation, I feel happy to be part of this celebration.
For those of you who have missed out on this year's Kayururu rides, you may have an opportunity to be part of it next year. It is entertaining, full of culture and tradition. Faisal Abdul Idrisu, TV3 News. Ho.
This news segment is powered by 3 Entertainment.
In entertainment news tonight, Ghanaian casting director Mauko Kwaji has been accepted as a member of the Casting Society of America, making him the first West African to achieve this feat. The CEO of MK Casting told 3 Entertainment the feat sets the stage for more opportunities for African talents.
It took a long process to be accepted. At the point I even gave up, I was like, what is it? Because even the application process was not easy. I mean, it gives me credibility for what I've been doing over the years, that finally, like, I'm doing something right. So I shouldn't give up, because it can be very discouraging. It's growth for me, and then it's also, the fulfillment is also for African talent.
Casting directors find the stars to bring the characters in a film or TV drama to life. They are hired by the production team to match actors to roles. The Casting Society of America, CSA, is a global organization of casting professionals dedicated to upholding the highest standards of casting within the showbiz industry. Mauko Kwaji's induction into the CSA is expected to offer new avenues for international collaborations and raise the profile of African creatives on the global stage.
It's an open door for even African talent, so that when I'm doing casting, then you can also open up the doors for some of this African talent, because there are a lot of great talents in Africa, but they are not known.
Yeah.
There are no opportunities because the Hollywood casting directors, they are comfortable in their space, and they don't know that some of these actors exist. But now, it's like a voice for them as well.
It's a big opportunity for them to be seen and heard as well.
Yes. Because if I'm going, I'm an African, so why not? And especially Ghanaians, I believe we have very, very great talent in Ghana that need to be seen by the world.
Mauko Kwaji now stands as the sole representative from West Africa, a testament to his exceptional skill, dedication, and unwavering commitment to advancing the African film industry. He is credited with discovering Ghanaian actor Abraham Atta for the critically acclaimed film Beast of No Nation, a role that launched Atta into international stardom. His impressive portfolio includes work across Africa, Europe, and North America, with credits on projects such as Netflix's Beast of No Nation, Amazon Prime's Threadstone, BBC and Netflix's Black Earth Rising, the NFL Super Bowl, and Ghana's Oscar-submitted film Azali.
The next move is to get into the door and open it for more people. More people are seeing talent. And also, if there are other casting directors or people who want to become casting directors, I'll be happy to mentor them, or maybe if there's any training I need to give to them, I'm happy to do that, and also introduce them.
What is Mauko's best piece of advice for fellow directors?
Keep doing what you are doing and don't give up, no matter how challenging it is. Keep doing it. But most importantly, God first.
Congratulations to Mauko. Let's find out what's happening on the international front.
Hezbollah has confirmed the death of its leader Hassan Nasrallah after an Israeli airstrike on his hideout. On Friday, Lebanese officials said 6 people were killed and 91 injured in an airstrike, with local officials saying that nearly 800 people have been killed in Israeli strikes in Lebanon since Monday. Nasrallah, who had not been seen in public for years because of fears of being assassinated by Israel, was one of the best known and most influential figures in the Middle East. The Israel Defense Forces IDF spokesman Daniel Hagari, in a televised address, described Nasrallah as being among the biggest ever enemies of Israel. He added that Israel's war is not with the Lebanese people, but the war is with Hezbollah. Meanwhile, Iranian officials report that Abbas Nilfarushan, the deputy commander of Iran's Islamic Revolution Guard Corps IRGC operations, was killed in yesterday's attack in Beirut. The armed forces of 5 countries conducted joint maritime exercises in a portion of the South China Sea on Saturday as China carries out its own military drills in the disputed waterway. The exercises involving the Philippines, United States, Australia, Japan, and for the first time New Zealand took place in Manila's exclusive economy zone and sought to improve the military's interoperability. The Philippine Armed Forces said in a statement, the exercises follow a series of air and sea encounters between the Philippines and China, which have spurred over disputed areas of the South China Sea.
That's it for our package. Thank you so much for spending the last hour with us. I am Martin Asiedu-Date.
And I'm Aisha Yakubu Halid. Good evening.